it or even know what it did. So again, the monkey pick on the side of Loop Esports is going to be super interesting. He, like Ali, is able to go around in kind of like a semicircle direction. So again, trying to get the places that would normally be a country mile on the gorge is just going to be a shortcut over the wall thanks to his abilities, and obviously Ali with her parasol as well. But then again, they've also got, I mean, a very mobile team to get over walls, everything like that. They've got obviously Elaine being able to go def on Sunset. They have Ali as well. They have Monkey, and then they obviously got Jung Fei that can leap over walls. He can dash onto his allies to give shield. The only person who can't just get around that easily is the Motsu, so you gotta play. Nobody puts Motsu in the corner. He has got to be catered for and looked after.
Yeah, but as the game progresses into the middle stages and maybe the late game, Kank is going to be quite tanky as well, right? Because Motsu does benefit off of magical attack. He will get a shield every time he uses his skills. So the more magical attack he has, the more armor he has as well. So we could expect this. This is a very huge protection composition coming out, right? They are putting all of their chips into Zia here on this early, and they want to take this game and build the advantage as fast as possible. So they're going to try that with the Firehawk here on the bot lane.
It's going to be really interesting to see if Zia is able to do exactly what Ryochi was able to do with the Ali, which is those just high risk, high reward playmaking potential that hero is known for. Again, Ryochi going on the Consort U is something very similar, but just not as flashy. Obviously, has the physical damage immunity from one of her skills. She can snipe with her first ability as well, but then obviously able to CC and jump off of an enemy hero also. So if you try and get stuck in with one of these tankier heroes on the side of Loop Esports, you can know for a fact that Consort U is going to get out of there with that ultimate.
Yeah, and at this point, this brings me to why the Mortar pick is so good, right? So Kank, yes, he is not going to be able to survive that well in the laning phase for the mid lane. He doesn't have the best wave there compared to what is being offered by Ari, because the Shangguan is always supported, right? But it's all about the magic damage, and here we go. They're going to try and get the stuns in. Physical immunity going to be put down, but there is all the damage and poke coming out from Loops. They will not get the kill. It's really just to burn out the resources at this point.
Oh, bit of a overstep there because they're able to get hit by Motsu's first ability. He is now out of a lane, but Shangguan looking for a little bit of a late rotation there to give any sort of backup to her teammates down into the farm lane. I mean, the mid lane needed cleaning out first before she headed down there, but a little bit late regardless, because now she's out of that lane. Mosi can just do what he needs to do, just clean up the lane again, try and get some gold, but we are seeing Dharma and Dune looking to contest that mid lane for the Shangguan.
Yeah, so Loops benefiting off of that. At this point, they're going to be able to defend the bot push as well. So it looks like advantage in terms of map control to Loops. And, at this point, they're hitting level 4s, they're hitting level 5s as well. Shihab already at level 6. Now, this first neutral objective is going to be very vital because it does pair well with the skill sets. Tyrant is going to be the neutral objective of choice.
Yeah, they definitely need that one, especially for the damage for the Shangguan and the Consort U. I mean, damage overall is going to be great for your team the most you go into these early game fights as well. And obviously, having that chain lightning effect from the Tyrant is always going to be super useful for your team. But looking at the gold difference, we are seeing that Loops are ever so slightly ahead just by a few hundred, which isn't a lot. It's not something to shout home about, but it's still Loops in the lead with that gold. No kills on the board just yet. Like I said, these games are played pretty slow in the early game. Nice stun there from Motsu on the side of Loop Esports. But now we have Tyrant and Overlord spawning. Let's see what kind of tomfoolery is going to happen on the Gorge.
Shihab does catch his eyes onto two members on the side of Loops, and this is going to be a different decision by Loops, actually. They're not going to try and contest this. They're going to do the fake out. And oh my goodness! The fake out works because Kank gets the death! Goodness, and in the meantime, Mankey and the lane actually steal off the buffs in the top side of the jungle for R8's jungle camps. And that's a huge one. They didn't do any of the work, but they took all the credit.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying that there's no contest, but there comes through Motsu's first ability, gets the stun, but also steals the Tyrant, which was just a little bit like, oh, that's gotta really hurt your ego on the side of R8 Esports. Elaine is already doing his slap and dash tactics here, but Zhongfei pushing again. Dolia, after getting stunned by Motsu, can they get this first tier turret? Shangguan not be able to do it. Oh, enough damage, but Ryoshi coming in with a snipe. Getting first blood and first turret for the side of R8 Esports.
Yeah, so very nice skill shots from both ends of the camps, right? RA with a nice old bolt there to get the first blood. Of course, I think Loop still has the better play, right? It is a Cannon Blast to steal one of the neutral objectives, which really helps them out because of the chain lightning. It also affects Ryoichi very detrimentally because his physical immunity now is going to be kind of mitigated and nullified because the chain lightning is magical damage.
Yep, no, it's definitely going to have a knock-on effect for the next 4 seconds, but again, it hasn't really served them too well, as we saw that R8 was actually in a better position without the Tyrant there because they was able to get the first blood and able to get the first turret in the farm lane. However, those mid and clash lane turrets are looking mightily damaged there on the side of R8, so all it's going to take is a little bit of an absence from the R8 team to lose those turrets, and it looks like they're trying to do the same thing into the farm lane as well.
Right, let's take a look at the replay here. They were trying to dive in onto Zir, but there was a nice calculation by Ryoichi to get that Opal down amidst all of the confusion. And you can see they were very clear about who they're supposed to go for there, the nice kill. And at this point, map control pretty much even, and we are neck and neck in terms of the gold accumulation. Finances, the bank looks good for both teams.
Yep, it has actually flirted over to the side of R8 Esports ever so slightly, only by a few. Actually, no, just as I said that, it's gone over to Loop. I could be doing this thing for the entire game duration, to be honest. Like, oh, it's over there, it's over there, it's over there. But they do lose their farm lane turret, so again, Loop stacking up some more gold. However, it is going to be a trade for that clash lane turret again. So 2 side turrets taken down on the side of R8. This is the same kind of tactic they did in game 1, but I think they're just going to leave that second tier turret there as well, as Illidian takes down Zia, but that is probably going to be his death notice there as Mutsu takes that crucial crowd control and takes the kill onto the Mijoj and the Dharma as well, but still they are not done. A red team are still in the thick of it. That is a 3, almost 4-1 trade. Menki on the rotate there, trying to get the flank onto Ryoichi, and does get a double kill. So able with the double kill for Loop Esports, and they have just taken 4 kills from R8 when losing only 1 body. That is the kind of engage that you need in this 7-minute mark.
And that's why you pick the mortar, right? The Cannon Blast doing so much work for the team. Not only do they get the stun, they get the magic damage as well. So it nullifies the protecting winds offered by Ryoichi, and he is rendered useless at that point. I think it was a slight overconfidence from the side of R8, thinking they can turn the fight around at that point, because Illidan was actually successful in getting the kill onto Zir as well. But they failed to calculate the fact that Loops was actually all around the corner, and it really just turned tails for them.
Yes, unfortunately for the side of R8, they have a little bit more catching up to do now. This Team Cup is not looking the greatest just yet. I mean, the Shangguan I was very excited for, but I've yet to see Zenon really pop off on that hero, where as Loops have pretty much stuck with a tried and tested team comp and taken the second Tyrant in the match. And this time around, they haven't had to get a trick shot on it. They was just wide left alone to be able to take that jungle objective from R8 once again. But it just seems to be like there is a little bit lacking here on R8 in terms of the tempo. They just not roaming it as well as Loop Esports, considering they had both of their side lanes pinned down for the first tier turrets. They still wasn't quite confident enough to catch these rotations because they were just catching fists instead.
Yeah, it's difficult, right? It's a difficult position to be in for the side of R8, because when you're below farm and you're trailing the team, as a Shangguang for Xenon, it's really hard to get kills. And at the same time, Ryoichi, yes, he's level 12, he's on par with Vizier as well, but there's no efficient protection offered by Illidan and Shihab at this point, right? And even if with the Celestial Melody, sure, you can have the refresh on your ultimates, but what good is that going to do you when you can't get kills off of the first instance of your ultimate and then you're out of position? So Loops actually, yeah, it's a position they love to be in, and RA have their work cut out for them at this
has destroyed a tower.
Yeah, Luke's really showing that they are why they are the second seed of the Brazilian region right now. Because again, like you said, this team comp should have had a lot more potential than it did, but again, they just haven't allowed that foot in the door. We did see that it looked like, I think it was even Dolia trying to dash over the wall to take the Tyrant objective there, but was a little bit too unsuccessful as we saw Loop Esports taking the Shadow Tyrant once again. That is 3 Tyrants to nil points on the side of R8 Esports, but again, we could potentially be seeing a barrage onto the mid lane turret as well, but this is all going to be brewing up, and it all looks like it's confidently a mid-game victory so far for Loop Esports, as they've managed to take in obviously 3 Shadow Tyrants. They could easily go for this Shadow Overlord, but they do have the Primal Bond, so it will take them a little bit longer. Hence why they're going for the lanes instead. It may just be a little bit more of an easy feat rather than giving it over to the side of R8. But the minions are coming around, and we have Ali and the Mutsu there in the Clash lane, taking the second tier Clash lane turret as well. So down that goes, and it's just left wide open, that higher ground turret in the Clash lane and farm lane.
Yeah, Loop's actually putting out the quarantine order on RA, right? They're not allowed to leave the base without approval from the members of Loops. And it's going to keep being this way because Kang is just going to shoot his cannon blast over and over again. He has sufficient mana regen. So at this point, it really is who is the straggler on the side of RA. And if anyone makes the mistake of standing a little bit too far out, they should be ready for the world of hurt that Loops is going to prepare for them in a short moment.
Yes, I mean, it's not looking like a wall of hurt for the side of R8. There's just been no damage coming from the side of the Shangguan or the... I mean, other than the snipe early game from Ryoichi on the Consort 2, we're not really getting anything else promising from these 2 heroes that I was really excited for into this draft, but it seems like Loops have played against the drafts like this time and time again, and they know that the true potential of that Motsu in the mid lane, especially paired with the Zhongfei, because if you pick the Motsu into the support lane, it's then like, okay, so we've now just got like a mage slash tank in the farm lane, but there's nothing better than having that Zhongfei open, especially how Mithy got MVP in game 1 on the Zhongfei. So again, just being able to open up and push apart the enemy team with Zhongfei and then allow the lane to come through kind of just negates the whole flashiness of Shangguan. As we can see, a lane looking to push that bot lane, but also at the same time, they're looking for that higher ground turret in the Clash lane, doing a little bit of damage, not quite securing it. They do secure the tier 2 turret in the mid lane. So it's not all just a non-starting push there for the side of Loop Esports. We are still seeing a little bit of an aggression, potentially a calm before the storm here at this high ground turret, and the farm lane. Dunn is just looking to be at the front line to try and soak enough damage from the side of Loop Esports. We are seeing something happening here. The Shadow Vanguards are just putting immense pressure onto that high ground turret, as well as the Vanguard in the Clash lane. So the only thing that is left standing, I mean, very much left standing, is that mid lane one. The Clash lane is just holding on for its dear life on the side of R8. I think that they have this team against the wall right now, which is just a little bit unfortunate for the team.
Yeah, it's a pressure cooker at this point, right? So Loops, they're really cooking at this point. They're waiting for this Tyrant. It is just 14 minutes in the game. Let's take a look at the itemization. Very curious about the Mortar build. He actually goes for the more damaging build. So Mask of Agony with the Holy Grail, as well as the Boots of the Arcane, complemented by the Venomous Staff. So what this does, number one, he's going to have an insane amount of mana regen. He's going to have magic penetration. He's going to have percentage health damage as well, and anti-heal properties for every one of his strikes that hit. And if you are R8, right now you're just sitting duck because there's no one else that's able to dive consistently and safely. Yes, you have the Unruly Blade coming out from the Tun, but at this point, Shihab is not going to take that risk because once he's gone, there is no frontliner to save the day for R8. Illidan is not technically the best frontliner you can have. Yes, he is kit to try and get the kills, but to survive 5 different members of Onslaught and damage, not going to work out.
Yeah, no, you're definitely correct in that observation, Kin, it seems, because again, we are seeing a very scared Dun that's not looking for a rotation or even a friendly engage, not even in a hello. Here is some cookies I have baked for you. Please don't kill me and my team and my crystal, which may be potentially happening here in that mid lane. They were able to take the high ground turret in the clash lane, so again, it is a lonely sitting turret there in the higher grounds of that base, but getting caught out potentially was the Shangguan able to dash out of there with her skills. But again, CC Immunity coming through, but it's not going to be enough for Ryuchi. Ryuchi goes down. Here is the assassin on the side of Loop Esports is a lane up in the sky with a Death on Sunset as they come through with the minions, looking to take game 2 from R8. This is day 2. But is it a day of 2 zeros?
Yeah, what a wonderful day though. Well, in that case, Loops, what a gameplay. I think they were struggling in